We've got a volumes of revolution question, very similar to one that's appeared on past papers before. If you want to have a read of it, we've got a function here that's shown below, x plus 1 cos x, and we want to find the exact value of a and b. Then we're going to rotate it through the x-axis through 2 pi radians, write down an expression for the volume, and then we're going to find the volume. It's a calculator paper, so I've got my Casio GDC up here. But the first thing it says is the exact values of a and b. So we're not going to use a calculator for this. We're going to take this function here and make it equal to 0. Now when it's equal to 0, x could be minus 1, which is outside the graph, so that's not what we want. So we want when cosine x equals 1, sorry, equals 0 rather, and those two values are pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. And those basically come from our knowledge of trigonometry. And you can see pi's here in the middle anyway. We could have had quite a good guess at that, but we could also do it on the calculator, but we want the exact values. So that's the answer to A. Now we're going to go on for B, and B just says write an expression for the volume created. So what they're looking for here is that we know how we're going to write down the volume, just in case we make a mistake with the last one. So first of all, we've got an integral sign, and because it's a volume, I'm taking that, and I'm taking the y squared dx with the limits, and the limits of these are the ones that I've got from the previous question. So if I write it out in full, it's going to be pi, let's make a nice big integral sign here, 3 pi over 2 and pi over 2. And now I'm going to take this thing here and I'm just going to keep it exactly as it is. What I'm looking to do at the end is to take all of this whole thing, put one bracket around it and square it, and then put a dx on the end of it. Okay, so it's small on the writing, but that's what I want for B. So B's done and A's done. And now for C, for the volume created, this is where I'm going to use a calculator, because this thing here, even without the squared sign, the whole thing squared, this thing here is way too difficult to integrate. So what I'm going to do is do it on my calculator. I could do it from the graph menu. I'm going to choose to do it from the run menu. So from the run menu, I've got math. Click F6 to go along here. Click here for the integration. I just need to type it in. So I'm going to put 2 brackets, x plus 1, close that first bracket, open another bracket, cosine x, close that bracket and close it again, and the whole thing is squared. I've actually forgotten to do the pi in front, so we'll deal with that in a minute. And now I'm going to put the limits in. Just click along here, and this needs to be 3 pi divided by 2. And if I shift again, so yeah, let's see what we got here. And come down. I'm going to put in the pi over 2 down the bottom here. Shift back. Okay, pi over 2. It's going to give me 27.45, and of course I've got the pi outside here, so I'm going to multiply by pi. Also note that I'm in radian mode, and if you're not in radian mode it won't work. So now we've got 86.23 to 86.2, so the volume is 86.2. So this is the volumes of revolution, and this is how we're going to work it out using a calculator. Usually there's some opportunity for you to write down your working out. If you don't have an opportunity to write this, do it anyway. Don't just put your answer from a calculator down.